Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease.
Hey, yo. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good Monday morning. Good Monday morning. Let me see who's in the building. Say hello. Say good morning if you're in the house. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. All my brothers, man. Good morning. It's Monday, baby. We're starting another week. We're getting on. We're going where we got to go. We're doing what we got to do. It's Monday morning. And let's see, man. Let's see what we got to say today. But you know, as I say every Monday morning, man, command your week. You decide how your week is going to be. And you don't decide it based on how last week was. You decide on where you're going and what you're doing this week as a man. It's very important, man. So wake up, get your mind right, get your mind wrapped around another week. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery, man. And all you have is today. The question is, what you going to do with it, bro? What you going to do with it today? How was your weekend, man? How did you make out? I hope you guys had a great weekend, man. Some of us had a tough weekend, and that's part of life, man. Every day ain't going to be great. Every day ain't going to be great. Every weekend ain't going to be great. But the biggest thing is I hope you guys got was some rest. Rest matters. Rest matters. Rest matters. Rest matters. Check out my podcast on rest mattering, man. Rest matters. It matters who you are. It matters what you become. It matters. It matters to what you're going to do in life. Rest matters. Let's get into it today, man. I got a half-hour show, so I want to get right into it. But greetings, and Facebook. I want to let you know, guys, today, Facebook. This will be the last live video to Facebook. If you are enjoying the Dear Brother podcast, please go over to YouTube and subscribe today, because I won't be streaming live to Facebook after today. All right. So today is my last day streaming live to Facebook. So if you would like to continue with the Dear Brother podcast, please go on YouTube and connect with me there. Subscribe. All right. Let's get into it. I want to talk about mastering yourself. I want to talk about mastering yourself today, bro. There's a scripture that always blew my mind. I've been looking at it for years, man. And it really hit me this morning. I hit me this morning very strong. The scripture says it's better to be patient than to be powerful. It says it's better to have self-control than to conquer a city. It's better to be patient than powerful. I think that's what I'll call the podcast today. It's better to be patient than powerful. It's better to have self-control than to conquer an entire city. It's big time talk, right? And so I think one of the issues that we have, man, we talk a lot about distraction on our shows. because we talk about the distraction that Adam received from the time that the world began. He became a distracted man. Listen, this is the thing. All of us have different distractions, different things that throw us off. We all have different concepts, different challenges, right? But at the end of the day, the whole point of the distraction is to keep you away from who you're supposed to be. That's why there's really not any room to judge another brother. And I want to say that today, as we build our community, as we build our brotherhood, the first thing that we have to really get rid of in order to build a strong brotherhood is we have to get rid of a judgment, right? Because listen, bro, today it's you, tomorrow it's me, right? Today I could be up, tomorrow I could be down. So what's most important about manhood is we had to pull judgment away from manhood if we're ever going to have a strong community, right? But another thing we have to do is, because we're so distracted, we're looking to master things, right? As a career men, we're looking to master your career. You know, as a husband, you're looking to master what it is to be a husband. As a dad, you're trying to be a great dad. See, the thing is, trying to be great in everywhere wears you out after a while, right? And really trying to master everything is impossible, right? There's no book that came behind your children to say this is how you be a dad to your kids. There's no book that came. There's no book that came with your marriage that says, look, this is how you do marriage. It's going to be different. It's going to be different for everybody. And I want y'all to really grab a hold of that. It's going to be different for everybody, and not to be distracted by trying to be good at all these things. The thing that you have to be best at, bro, is conquering yourself. That's the thing you have to be best at. That's the thing that matters the most. That's the thing you have to be best at, is conquering yourself. If you can conquer yourself, man, you can win. You conquer you winning. Right. And that's why this thing has always been so big to me. It has always been so big to me. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure my sound is right. Okay. Okay. It has always been so big to me about better mastering yourself. Because again, the distraction is, man, master. I look on, even on social media, it's like master this money. Right? Master YouTube, master how to do this, how to do that. There's so much how to, right? And there's even courses to teach us how to master everything, right? How do you master your finances? How do you master raising your kids? How do you master making money? How do you master keeping money? How do you master all these things? Is how do you master this? And there's very few, if any, courses, classes that will teach you how to master yourself, right? And peep this, guys. There's some lessons you'll never get. Some people will never teach you how to master yourself, because mastering yourself will make you a better man. There's some people that don't ever want you to master yourself. If you master yourself, you might move yourself out of situations you were in before. Think of it. Because we're gonna go through this today. I got 5 points about how to master yourself. But there's some things, if you had mastery over yourself and you knew yourself very well, there were some things you wouldn't have never started. There's some things you wouldn't have stayed in as long as you did, right? Because there's a disconnection of mastering yourself to master everything else. Bro, let me tell you this. You can master everything around you. If you have no self-control, you're in trouble, right? One of my favorite basketball players ever, come out of Philadelphia, Allen Iverson, went through $135 million because he couldn't master himself, right? Nobody taught him how to master himself. Mike Tyson lost $300 million because, listen, money doesn't give you mastery over yourself, right? So while we're in the chase for finance, what you really find out is that finance only helps you afford the negative sides of yourself. See, the truth is, you have to have some self-mastery. I'm gonna read it again, because this is what we're on today. It's better to be patient than powerful. What does that mean? Hear that on a Monday morning, bro. It's better to be patient than powerful. See, that's the twist. That seems like the wrong thing to do, because the world system tells us what? Man, be powerful out here. Well, how do I get power? That's the question. What's the road to power? Every man wants to be powerful. When you're young, you want to be powerful here. When you're old, you want to be powerful here. Every man wants to be powerful. That word power is big. We had a whole show called Power, right? That's the lust, right? Back in the day, we had a song called Money, Power, and X, right? Money Power X, Money Power X, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can't say it on YouTube. Money Power X, right? That's what men want. Money, power, respect, right? And all that brings, right? But the thing is, have you mastered you? Do you respect you? See, the thing is, we'll pursue somebody else. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect me. Do you disrespect yourself as a man? See, and I think a lot of times the abuse we won't take off of nobody else is because we're fed up with it in ourselves. Let me say that again. Let me say it again. A lot of times the abuse we refuse to take from somebody else is because you're tired of you doing it to you, so you can't take it from nobody else. Right? That's that tough guy. Ain't nobody going to disrespect me. See, what you're really tired of is your disrespect of yourself, and somebody else's disrespect is just icing on the cake. See, this is when you really get to know yourself. See, I don't talk weak stuff, and we're right here. This is our room, right? This is not a man cave, because man caves is where men go to die. But this is a man's fellowship where men come to find their better self around their brothers. And so we got to challenge this stuff. Better to be patient than powerful, right? What does power do? Power will leave. Power will go away. I can't wait till later this afternoon. I'm going to start finally recording. It's going to be a series, probably a 4-part series called Satan's Heaven. And I'm going to talk about how Satan cast him after God cast Satan to the earth. What he did was he made a mockery of everything God did. Satan has a heaven. Satan absolutely has a heaven, right? He has a heaven is right here on earth. It's Hollywood. And in Hollywood is not just in LA. It's in every realm. Some of you on your way to work today, right? You know what it takes to get all the way to the top of that thing. And sometimes the price is not worth paying, right? But we'll get into that. But that's the reason why I brought that up is because it's better to be patient than powerful. You know what you'll do when you get impatient? Think about it as a man, the things you do when you get impatient, right? The things you connect to when you get impatient. Think about it. Think about it. Think about the decisions. Look back over your life and think about the decisions you made when you were impatient. How many things you brought onto your life that were horrifying because you were impatient? You understand? See, you could be powerful. Power makes you say, look, I can have everything I want. Patience says, do I really need this? See, power allows you to go get whatever you need. That's the danger of power. The danger of uncontrolled power as a man is he'll get everything he wants and never think about what he needs. And I think we've all done that as men on some level of our lives, is we've grabbed things that we were powerful enough to get, right? But not patient enough to hold. Oh, come on. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Huh? How many times as men have you grabbed something, you were powerful enough to obtain it, but you weren't patient enough to hold on to it and keep it, right? You've done that with a great relationship. See, some of you single guys out here, the first thing you run to, just like single women run to, is ain't nobody no good. Come on. It's no way that everybody wasn't no good. The problem is a lot of times we are powerful enough to get what we want, but we don't have the patience, the inner fortitude. We don't have the resilience to hold on to the thing we were powerful enough to grab. Right? So patience is key, not power. Because even when you become powerful, you got to be patient enough to realize what this thing is I have. Right? Power is an amazing thing. Power can be used for very, very, very high levels of evil, but very high levels of good. This is why you got to understand what power is. Right? Before you pursue power, understand what power is and know that you have to have the patience that you can control power. It's dangerous. A powerful man who has no patience is dangerous. A powerful man that doesn't have a gene for patience is dangerous because he wants everything now. That's the danger of what the drive of men. Be careful with your ambition, brother. Ambition, we say ambition is the greatest thing in the world. It can be, but ambition will also make you go try to get something and leave your family behind. Ambition is great, but ambition can also cause you to kill your brother on the way to the top. Is it good? Right? You can boil some hot dogs in some water for your kids, but you can also put your head in it and drown in it. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about how you use a thing. It makes it good or bad. Power ain't no good to an impatient man. It's better to be patient than powerful. Better to have self-control than to conquer a city. Right? So there's two things that men want to do. That's why I love that scripture so much, because it talks about the desire to be powerful and it talks about the desire to control. Those are the two things you got to watch out in you. in you as a man. I'm talking specifically to men. You got to watch out for your desire to be powerful. You got to ask yourself why, and you got to watch out for your desire to control everything around you. Because I'm telling you, for some of us men that have a control problem, you want to control everything. You want to control your woman. You want to control your kids. You want to control how everything goes. You want to control the sound volume in your house. You guys that want to control everything, that's why you wind up living out of control. Your desire to be in control of everything is the reason why you're living out of control. Right? So understand the importance of what it is to have power. Should you be powerful? Yes, but you better damn well understand who you are before you get powerful. You better understand who you are before you get wealthy. You better understand who you are. You got to know. You got to do a full assessment of you. Listen, brother, stop assessing what you need and how it will fit in your life. Assess you to see if you can handle it, right? Because there's some things that would be great to you, but won't be great to you right now. You also have to pay attention to the timing of life. You hear me? You got to pay attention to the timing of life because listen, I heard a brother say the other day that he was leaving his wife because it was the best thing for her. He knew he couldn't be what he wanted to be to her. And he said, you know what? It's better for me, right, to get control of me and let her live. He could have tried to control that situation. You know what he did? He allowed his vulnerability to say it's better for me to love her enough for her to have a better life than it is for me to sit here and control that. Control the situation. You know what I told that man? Bravo, homeboy. Bravo. Bravo. Because in most of us, we have a desire to control so much that we don't care who hurts around us. Oh, I come to challenge you, man. That's why y'all come on here this morning. Men don't patty cake, man. We talk for real. And you got to know that sometimes it's better. Controlling you is better controlling that, because sometimes your control over that turns into abuse. You know what abuse is? It's 2 words: abnormal use. If you don't have control of you, brother, you will eventually start to abnormally use people around you to prop up your weaknesses instead of confronting them. Right? Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, Eric. My man, good morning, fired up, ready to go. We going. Let me see on Instagram. All right, good morning, Instagram. All right, and good morning, YouTube. We're talking about mastering yourself as a man today. We're talking about what does that mean to master yourself as a man, right? So number 1, let's get into it. It's the power of stillness. In order to master yourself, and some of y'all need to jump off of here right now because you're interested in mastering yourself. But some of you men who are interested in being real men, the first thing you got to do to master yourself is you have to fall in love with the power of stillness. You have to fall in love with the power of stillness. You have to engage with the power of stillness. What's that, Christian? Stillness is when you just sit there and you're willing to sit and not move, right? Some of us guys, we can't sit. We got to jump in the car. We got to wash the car. We got to water the grass. You'll do anything but sit with yourself. Sitting with yourself allows you to converse. And I know why we run from it. I've run from it. I spent a lot of my life running from here to here to here to here. And I was helping people and I was calling it ministry. Right? You're doing out, but the only thing you're not ministering to is yourself. And what ministry to yourself is not always quoting scriptures in your head. It's an assessment of yourself. That's why David says, search me and know me. See if there's anything in me, right, that will offend you, that will offend my family. That's a connected man. A connected man is in touch with himself. And the only way to get in touch with himself is to embrace the power of stillness. See, we're often taught, chase success, chase this, chase quick, move. You got to get it. You know, one thing I did, story time. One thing I had a dream one time. I'm 44. So this may have been 10 years ago. So in my 30s, right? And I had a dream that I saw myself dead in the casket. And I knew this dream was so real. Because my kids, I saw like gray and black beard. I saw like myself aged in the face and I'm laying in this casket. And I'm looking at my kids, and my kids were the age they would have been at the age I saw myself in that casket. But I was young. I wasn't old. I was maybe in my 50s, and I died in this dream. And I'm watching my kids look at me. And something told me that's where you're headed if you don't slow down. That's where you're headed if you don't slow down. And I want to tell some of you guys, that's where you're headed if you don't slow down. In your mind, you're doing something so good. I got to get this money. I got to go get this. I got to establish this. I got to have this for my kids. I got to have that for their future. Let me tell you something. If you don't slow down, you're going to end up, while you're trying to love your kids, you're going to wind up not being there with them or for them. I'm telling you right now. And I also encourage some of you brothers who work so hard on the front end of your children's life that you didn't get to know them like you wanted to. I'm not talking about know their names. You named them. I'm talking about knowing them, knowing what they like, knowing what they don't like, knowing what they love, knowing what their favorite stuff is, knowing their favorite snack. Listen, brother, that stuff is not for the just mom to know. Do you know what it means to a kid to know their dad knows their favorite stuff? But you only get that in the power of stillness. You only get to know your children when you're willing to sit with them, right? Don't allow that chase to make you run around and you miss that homework assignment. I've learned this, man. I've learned this with my youngest child. It's like I know mom does homework with her when she's with her and things like that, but she lights up. She lights up when dad is doing work with her. She lights up on the way to school. She's saying, Dad, give me some math problems. It's not just about me or me being better than mom or anything like that. It's just something about the safety and the security of a father when your kids are knowing that you're into what they're into, right? Stop dragging your kids where you want them to go and pause the power of stillness and get into their world. Get into your children's world. Man, I'm gonna pat myself on the back today, man, because this is a hell of a podcast for men. I would listen to it, bro. And I'm not saying this to hype myself up. This is the stuff I wish I had somebody telling me when I had my son at 22 years old, didn't know nothing about life. I wish I had a podcast like this. Some man who would say, yo, come here, let me holler at you. Right? I ain't judging you, bro. Come here, let me holler at you. Hey, slow down, kid. Slow down, kid, because you're going to wind up going to gain everything for your kids, but not knowing the kids you gained all that for. Because I'm going to tell you in the end, your kids, my kids want to cash app all the time. Right. But in the end of our lives as men, our kids ain't going to think about the cash apps we sent. They're going to think about, how did my dad make me feel? Did he make me feel safe? Did he teach me anything? And not did he take me and just throw the ball with me? Did he teach me anything about myself? Did he teach me how to look at myself? Your kids are going to remember your investment in them. Your kids are going to remember your investment in them. I think about it often now that I'm a grown man. I don't remember who paid for my college. It don't matter. I remember who called me and checked on me while I was there. See, you understand? I never remember thanking my mom and dad, oh, thank you so much for paying for college, right? Not to say that's not something that I wouldn't thank them for. It is to say what a kid remembers is not who paid for college. A kid remembers who cared for him while they were going through the transitions. But you got to have the power of stillness as a man, right? You have to have the power of stillness. I think we can have a little longer show today. My baby is off from school. But the power of stillness is what you got to have in your life. Stillness is not weakness, man. You not moving doesn't say you're weak. You taking a day off doesn't say you're weak. And guess what? Don't always take a day off from work because you got to go to the doctor or because you're sick. Take a day off sometime just so you can gather yourself. Right? We think this is female language, self-care, self-love. This is man stuff. If you're going to carry what you're going to carry, and I want to say this, men aren't only built to carry, men are called to carry and build. But if you're going to carry and build anything great, it's because you're going to invest in you. So embrace the power of stillness, man. Embrace the power of sitting down. Embrace the power of taking a walk. Embrace the power of sitting in the coffee shop, because these are the things that's going to help you as a man. I'm going to say this to you. Sometimes the stimulation of, say, a football game and people hitting each other and yelling and screaming, you know what? That's not going to give you the stillness. I'm not against football. I don't watch sports anymore. I don't know what happened to me. I guess I'm so down with the revolution right now that I could care less about football. I'm not knocking football or any other sport. I'm just saying that a lot of times we think, oh, that's my stillness. And in reality, all you are, and you're engaged in the chaos of a game and the nervousness of winning and losing. Stillness is when you take everything back. Stillness is when you get in the car and you turn the radio off and you drive so you can think and listen. That's stillness. That's what you need as a man. You want to be a healthy man? The first thing you have to do is establish the power of stillness in your life, right? Right? Make time for it. Make time for it. Here you go. Number 2, learning and thinking before acting. That's number 2. So number 1 is, if you're going to ever master yourself as a man, the first step to mastering yourself as a man is to embrace stillness. The second level to mastering yourself is to learn to think before acting. Right? Too many of us feel, because of the world's society and the world's pressures, too many of us feel like we got to act because that's what the world wants us to do. You got to act. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Make a decision based on what? See, remember that. What am I making a decision based on? You can't make a decision based on a feeling, right? We all know what it is. How many times have you made a decision based on feeling and it imploded on you, right? I don't care how fast the world is trying to make you make a decision. Right? The pressure to act will cause you to make a foolish decision. Remember that, brothers. The pressure to act will cause you to make a foolish decision, right? Because you're not understanding what's going on. Let me tell y'all this. This is another thing. Let me give y'all something from the scripture that's strong wisdom for me growing up as a man. All the tribes of Israel. They had many tribes of Israel. Let me see who's in the chat before I get into this point. My man. You're killing it this morning. Everyone, Big Brother gave them that weather report. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying, man. Thank you. Understand, man. Understand that this is the story. So Israel had 12 tribes, right? They had tribes. And they explained some of the tribes were mighty warriors, and some of the tribes were I look so short like a little guy on here. All right, take go to camera. Some tribes could work with iron very well. Some tribes were just big, the hundreds of thousands, right? And then there was this little tiny tribe called Issachar. And it said they didn't have many weapons. They didn't have these certain skills. They had one thing that separated them all. Remember, they were the smallest of them. And I'm sure people looked at Issachar tribe and said, oh, man, I wonder what y'all got going on. Y'all don't have a lot of weapons. Y'all don't have a lot of this and that. But Issachar had one thing. Listen to me, brothers. Absorb this for the rest of your life. Issachar had one thing. They knew the times and the seasons in which the nation should move. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. They did not have many weapons. They did not have big numbers. They weren't impressive in all these ways that that their enemies would think that an army would look. But they knew when. Oh, man, bro. Feel this. Feel this. They knew when. As a man, do you know when? See, you can have money. You can have this. You can have that. But do you know when? When says that a man has wisdom, when he knows when. Because you can just move. That doesn't say you can have and move. That doesn't prove anything about yourself. The power of when. When do I do this? When do I say this? How long do I hold this back? That is the power of a man. That's when you know that you've reached another level of manhood, when you're paying attention to when. You're not being rushed. You're not being rushed into making decisions because you're not looking at the full realm of it. You know why? You know why Michael Jordan was one of the best basketball players to ever live? Because he could see the game before the next play. He could see how the play was going to happen. See, you want great manhood? You want a key to manhood? A key to manhood is slowing down enough to look and being able to see the next play. I know what's going to happen if this happens. I know the consequence of this act. See, this is manhood, man. This is manhood. This is how a man thinks. He slows down his pace and he looks and say, okay, I can make this decision, but what's the ramifications? I can make this decision, but what's the ramifications? I can do this, but what happens if I do that? See, that's when you become the star of the game. Y'all feel me? That's when you become the star of the game, when you can look at the whole court. See, some guys only see their position. Some guys only see, okay, I'm the small forward and I'm supposed to be in this place. You know what the point guard does? He looks at the whole court and says, they're gonna be there, they're gonna be there. If I pump fake this way, they're gonna go that way. That's the person who wins. The man who wins is the one who knows what the next play is gonna be. But in order to slow down, you gotta learn not to act fast. You gotta learn not to act fast. It's the pressure of acting without fully understanding. And that's where your enemy wants you to be. He wants you acting. Woo. He wants you acting. That's where your enemy wants you to be. He wants you acting like you know. He wants you acting like you understand. Make a rash, quick decision. You know how many of our brothers right now are serving major time in jail because they just acted? Come on, some of you, come on. Some of you know, put it in the chat. If you know you've been there. Put in the chat, I've been there. Some of you been there. You made a quick decision out of anger, out of rage, out of malice. You were just pissed off and you made a decision. And what did it cost you? You look up later and say, man, I wish I hadn't made that move, right? Some of these moves, it cost you your marriage. It cost you your relationship with your children. It cost you your job. Now you have an addiction, right? Because you didn't think. You didn't think. That's what the enemy does. Understand this, man. The challenge against you ain't new. The challenge has been since the days of Eden. I want men to not think. I want men to just respond. And you know who just responds? Women. And every time you move without thinking, you're not being a man. You're acting like a woman. And that's not a slight to women. What that says is women will move on emotions because that's what leads them. But as a man, you can't move on with emotions because that's not what's supposed to lead you. Do you have emotions as a man? Yes. Are you supposed to move by them? No. You're supposed to use your thinker. And your thinker balances the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to come up with the proper decision. A woman can move out of reckless emotions because she's usually, if she's supposed to have a man there, that can change the balance. It was okay for Eve to have that reckless conversation with the serpent, but it wasn't okay for Adam to just eat that fruit without thinking. How much fruit have you eaten without thinking? Let me see. My man Keen. Hey, Keenan. What's up, my brother? No fear, no shame, no compromise, my man. Let me see. It's on Instagram. All right. All right. Hey, I'm going to put the Dear Brother the advice up now, gentlemen. I'm going to put the Dear Brother the advice up now. If you need advice, man, put it in the chat now. That way I'll get to it before I end the show today. On Instagram, put it in the chat. YouTube, put it in the chat. Facebook, put it in the chat. And I want to remind you guys on Facebook, if you're watching from Facebook, please go over to YouTube and subscribe there. This will be my last show streaming to Facebook. All right. Go over to YouTube and subscribe to the Dear Brother podcast. Okay. But if you need advice, brothers, put it in the chat on Instagram, whatever chat you're on, put it in there and I'll get to it before the end of the show. All right. Let's get to it. All right. So the first thing you need as a man is you need to embrace stillness. The second thing you need to do is slow down before acting. Number 3, the dangers of aimless pursuit. How many things are you pursuing that are pointless? Now, I know when you first start pursuing something, it makes full sense to you. But you ever pursue something that made sense until you got it? See, you got to be careful, men, of we are hunters, right? People always talk about that. We're hunters. Yes, we are hunters. But what are you hunting? What are you hunting? Right? What are you hunting? Listen, are you as a man, are you going to pursue a woman? Yes, but what kind? What kind? You a man, you want some money in your pocket. You do. What kind of money? You want the money, the money that cost you? Or you want the money you can obtain? You want the woman that's going to cost you your life, or you want the woman that's going to help you get through in life? Right? Right? When you're looking for a job, are you just looking for the salary? Right? Because why? That's quick gratification, instant gratification. You know how many women you got with, bro? Because you weren't thinking? It's an aimless pursuit. What are you pursuing her for? Think about it. Think about it. Think about your pursuits. If you're a single guy, even if you're married, right? Because one thing I know about us is that we'll get into relationship after relationship and it'll be the same person. Different complexion, different height, different hair, different eye color. It's the same person. You know why? Because it's a pointless pursuit. If you find yourself as a single man always chasing and finding the same kind of woman, that's because you're trying to find a broken image inside of you. The mirror's broke inside of you. So when you look through your eye lens, you are looking for something that's broken in you. Understand, you choose who you are. Whether you like it or not, you choose who you are as a man. And if you keep on running into broken women, that's because you're a broken man. You got to understand this, my brother. You got to understand this. You got to stop looking around saying, oh, why do I keep on running into this kind of woman? Because you're that kind of man, right? Because you haven't slowed down to say, is this an aimless pursuit, right? Stop fighting fruitless battles, bro. Stop fighting fruitless battles. You know why the murder rate is so high in cities? It's fruitless battles. It's fruitless battles. How much energy are you giving to fruitless battles? Stuff you can't win. You can't win that, bro. It's not a good prize, right? It's like pursuing a terrible woman and you don't even want her. You're just pursuing her just so you can say it's something in you that wants to conquer. But what did I start out with today? I started out with this scripture today. It's better to be patient than powerful. It's better to have self-control than to conquer a city. It's better to control you than try to conquer something. Because the question is, why do I want to conquer that? Why do I want to conquer that? What is it for? What do I win? What do I win if I win her? You win a lose. You win a loss, bro. You will win a loss. See how crazy that sounds? Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, Jess. Good morning. Good morning, my sister. All right. All right. So number one, let me recap. Today we're talking about mastering yourself. That's the strength of control in a man. Better to be patient than powerful. Better to have self-control than conquer a city. The first thing you have to do as a man to conquer yourself, the first thing you have to do is to master yourself. Number one, the power of stillness. Embrace stillness. Stillness is where you hear wisdom. Number two, learning to think before you act. Think before you act, because there's some things you'll pull in your life and wonder, why did I ever do that to myself, right? Number three, the dangers of aimless pursuit, running around trying to figure things out. You know what? And that's one thing I say it all the time. Man, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. You know what that thing in us, we say as men, I'll figure it out. That leaves you frustrated. You have wasted energy, wasted time, wasted money, and ultimately it leaves you empty as a man. It leaves you with a sense of emptiness, always trying to figure it out. That doesn't prove you're a man, because you can sit back and say, I'll figure it out. That doesn't improve your manhood. I'll figure it out. No, it leaves you frustrated when you're by yourself trying to figure it out. It leaves you empty. It leaves you tired. It leaves you feeling worthless if you can't figure it out. See, that's the next question. What happens on our manhood? I'll figure out. What happens when you can't figure it out? Then it leaves you feeling worthless, right? And it leaves you running for something that will give you worth again. Oh, let me talk to y'all, bro. Let me talk what they call on the internet. They say, let me cook. I'm just talking. I ain't cooking. But look at the pursuits. We run around trying to figure things out. We have wasted time, energy, right? It's like chasing the wind. You don't know where it's going. That fatigues a man. That's what causes self-doubt in you, the constant chasing. And again, we don't have to leave Adam in the Garden of Eden to understand this. Adam did what? He was running in circles, trying to figure it out. Running in circles, trying to figure it out. What has that done to you? Right? Throw it in the chat. Some of you that know what I'm talking about. Throw it in the chat. What has running in circles done for you? Talk to me, brothers. I know y'all getting ready for work, but if you got a hand that you can go ahead and type in the chat, wherever it is, what has running around done for you? What did you win? What did it do? What did running around ultimately do for you as a man? It did nothing. It did nothing. Chasing them women, what did it do for you as a man? You lost. You lost. You lost money, you lost time, you lost energy, right? And depending on the kind of woman you pursued, you might have lost some brain cells on your way. This is the fact, bro. Again, I'm going to read this again, not because I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to read this again for you. Better to be patient than powerful. It is better to be patient than powerful. Why? Because what you think is going to make you powerful might make you weaker. You got to be patient enough to know, will that make me powerful or will it make me seem powerful? Right? Oh, I'm going to step to this dude today. Okay, will that make you powerful or will it make you seem powerful? You want something real or you want something fake as a man? You got to make up your mind. You got to make up your mind. You got to decide. Is it real or is it not? All right, let's get into it. Number 4. Patience leads to wisdom every time, right? Because most of us, we miss out on life-changing wisdom because we're too busy trying to figure things out. Man, I hit that note. I wrote that note and it felt like I punched my own self in the face this morning, right? Most of us miss life-changing wisdom because we're too busy trying to figure it out. Think about it. How many of y'all cats, put in the chat, let me holler at y'all right quick. How many of y'all have bought something from the store and said, yo, I got to put this together, right? Or IKEA is one of the main ones, right? I got to put this together. And you like, all right, I could put this together. And you got that little paper on the side of you. You sitting on the floor. You trying to do your thing. You looking at the paper. And it stops making sense on the paper. And you say, oh, I'm put this screw here. This makes sense. And you say, I'm going to put this thing together. You put the thing together, it's standing up, it's leaning a little bit, but you're like, all right, I got it done. And next to you is the paper, is the instructions, and next to you is like 3 and 4 extra screws. And in your mind, you're saying, oh, that must be extra stuff. No, it's not extra, bro. It's the reason why that thing is leaning. You know why? Because sometimes we want to just get it done, and we miss out on wisdom because we're too busy trying to get it done. You're too busy trying to make things happen. Listen, bro, I know you think you're awesome. I know somebody told you that you can change the world. Yes, but guess what? It's a method to changing the world. It's a method to changing the world. And the method to change the world is to change yourself. You cannot be too busy trying to make things happen that you don't pay attention to how you make things happen. Right? Because there are times where the best way forward is waiting right where you are. Sometimes the best way forward is waiting right where you are, because what you don't want to do is live a life walking in circles and then life and time runs out and you never went forward. All you were doing was moving. Let me look in the chat. Let me see. I'm trying, Jess. I'm trying to kick it this morning. Guess I'm trying to cook. Huh? Y'all got me? Y'all got me? Listen, some of y'all wasn't on the show Friday, but I want to say this. Number one, I want to make it clear again. This will be my last show streaming on Facebook. Okay. If you want to stay with the Dear Brother podcast, please go to YouTube and subscribe, like, and share on YouTube. Okay. This will be my last show on Facebook. So please go to YouTube and like, subscribe, and share right there on YouTube. All right. Number 2, go to my web. I have a new segment coming up. I want to honor some dads. Okay. I want to honor some dope young dads who are trying, who need some help. I want to be a blessing to these dads. Okay. So if you have some fathers, some young fathers, some fathers that you know are doing a hell of a job out here, email me at christian@christianwinters.com. christian@christianwinters.com. I'm starting a new segment tomorrow on great dads. Okay. A new segment tomorrow on great dads. And I'll be carrying that segment. We'll spend some time every day honoring a dad and blessing that dad. So if you know some great dads who are doing their thing, really putting it together out here, email me their name and their photo, and their email at christian@christianwinters.com. christian@christianwinters.com. Email me their information and we will spotlight great dads on the show every day. All right. And let me know in the chat. Whatever chat y'all into. Let me know this. I've been thinking about doing a morning, an evening show for men. Let me know what y'all think about an evening show for men. What day and time y'all think I should do it? All right, y'all, my community, so I'm trusting y'all. instead of just pulling a time out of my head. I'm thinking about doing an evening show for men. What time do y'all think that should be and what day? But okay, so let me know. All right. And so number 3, let's get back into sorry, we're on number 4. Patience to leads to wisdom. Okay. Today we're talking about, gentlemen, the people who are just coming in, we're talking about mastering yourself. Right? Mastering yourself is the strength of a man. Can you master yourself? You can master everything around you. You got to master yourself. You know what? Let me say this too. A man, this hit me so strong. A man that masters everything around him most times is like probably an abusive guy. Like if you just want to control everything around you and have no self-control, you're probably an abusive person. Ugh. That's tough, but you got to look at that, right? You got to look at that. That's a tough reality, but you got to look at that because it's real. Let me see. Oh, okay. We Instagram. Good morning, Greg, my man. Good morning. Let me say, it is better to be patient than powerful. Yes, sir. Patience leads to wisdom. Yes, you miss out on wisdom when you were too busy trying to get it done. Yeah, you got to slow down. You got to slow down, right? Because what are you doing? You're moving without wisdom. You're just moving. Listen. You're not proving you're a man just by moving around. The only thing you're going to prove by constantly moving around is that you can get tired and give up. All right. Let me see. Number 5. Oh, you know what? This hit me too. I want to say this. One thing that's very important for men is we need to learn how to get comfortable without knowing everything. We need to learn, man, listen, we need to learn as men, we need to learn how to be, we got to learn how to get more comfortable without knowing everything. See, it's our pride that makes us want to know everything, and it's our pride that makes us want to make people think we know everything. You know what the problem with wanting to know everything as a man? You leave no room for God's guidance in your life. You leave no room for God's guidance in your life by wanting to know everything. Now this going to get a little deep. I don't want y'all to jump off, but it's going to get a little deep right here. Think about it. God told Adam, look, you can have everything in this garden. Just don't touch that knowledge of good and evil. Think about it. Let's dig into it. Jump in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that. Let me know what you think about. Here's the question. Why did God tell Adam, you can have everything? I mean, they said that garden was crazy. Some people that studied the history and made things on what they thought the garden was, they said the garden was masterful. It was so large that Adam couldn't walk from one part of the garden to the other. They said by the power of his mind, if he thought that he wanted to be in another part of the garden, he was going to be. We'll talk about that later. It's the power of the mind. But how many of y'all, why did God tell Adam, look, just don't touch that tree of good and evil? Put it in the chat. Tell me your thoughts. Instagram, Facebook, put it in the chat. Everybody's invited. Put it in the chat to tell me why you think God said, Adam, you can have everything but that tree of good and evil. I'm going to go on to another topic and then I'll come back and see what y'all got to say about it. All right. But we got to learn to be we got to learn to get comfortable with not knowing, right? With trusting what they call the process. Again, it's the same part of the same point as the first one. We want so bad to get to the end that we're not paying attention to the process. Story time. You ready for story time? Here we go. So my father would go every day to get his coffee and get his paper, and he would sneak a donut that my mom didn't want him to have every day. He would go get his coffee, the paper, and a donut from the newspaper stand. This is back in the day when they had newspaper stands. And at the newspaper stand, you have all these old heads, 60 and up, 50 and up, sitting there at the newsstand, drinking their coffee, talking to the newspaper man. That's what they did every morning. That was their thing. And I remember one particular morning, my dad got up and he was like, man, I don't feel good today. I can't get out there. So he asked me, he says, son, go grab my paper and my donut and my coffee for me. I said, okay. Cool. I run outside. I jump in my car, right? And I drive up there. I was like 16 or 17. I drive up there. I go grab the coffee. I go grab the paper, and I go get the donut, and I drive back. I run back in the house. I say, all right, Dad, here's your coffee. Here's your paper. Here's your donut. And my dad was looking like he was confused. I'm like, Dad, I got you everything you wanted. Here's your coffee. Here's your paper. Here's your donut. And my dad looked at me and was like, did you check on our Jewish neighbor, Miss North? Did you knock on her door to see how she was doing, see if she needed anything? I said, no, Dad, I was just going to get your paper. I was going to get your coffee, and I was going to get your donut like you wanted. He said, but did you check on Jim at the corner of the block? You know his wife just died, and I said, no, Dad, I was going to get your paper. I was going to get your coffee. I was going to get your donut. He said, but did you check on Mr. James? Because Mr. James, he just got out the hospital. I said, no, Dad. I just went to get your coffee, your donut, and your paper. And he looked down like he was almost disappointed. And I realized something in that moment. My dad's journey to get his coffee, paper, and donut, he checked on so many people. He made sure the neighbors were fine. It was so much more to his trip than to get what he needed. In my young mind, I was just going to get what he needed. And I learned something from his disappointment. If I had walked like he did, I would have saw and got in touch and been in contact with so many other things. But in my rush just to get the job done, what did I miss on the way to getting the job done? That's my question for us as men. What do we lose on our way to getting the job done? I just want to get the job done. I just want to get through the day. Man, I just want to go ahead and get married. Man, let's just go ahead and have these kids. Do you know how many things as men we just go ahead and do? And then later on, we feel the repercussions of. Some of y'all walked down the aisle and you said, man, let me just go ahead and do this, John. We've been dating for 6 years. She want to get married. Her mom and them on my back. I might as well just go ahead. How many things have you might as well just go ahead and did? And then you look at the consequences later saying, man, I was not ready for what I just went and did. I was not ready for the decision I just went and made. That's because you got to start getting comfortable with what you don't know. I don't know, so I'm going to sit back for a minute. I'm not just going to make a decision because I'm a man. No. The first thing to making a decision is not to make a decision. The first thing to make a decision is think about where you are, where your mind is. Are you prepared for this? And then you make a decision. It's not manly just to go do something. All right, number 5. Let me check the chat. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Instagram. Okay. All right. Number 5, let me give y'all last thing before I get out of here today. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Remember, email me, christian@christianwinners.com with a name of a dad that you really honor, a young dad, a new dad, a dad that's just dope, a granddad that's amazingly fly. Just email me, christian@christianwinners.com. Email me their name, email me their picture, and I want to do every day I want to do a spotlight honoring that father because we don't have enough fathers in our community. And fathers don't mean men who just have babies. Fathers are men who invest in the community without needing anything in return. We need to honor those fathers and spotlight them, okay? All right, last thing, number 5. Embrace the process, not the outcome, right? We get so fixated on outcome that we miss the valuable lessons on the way to the outcome. We miss how we grow, right? So how do I change this about my life? I shift my focus. From trying to figure it out to learning to be present in the moment I'm in. Let me say it again. How do I change? How do I embrace the process? I learn to be present in the state that I'm in. If my mind is always not wanting to be where I am, I'm not reaping the jewels of where I am. You're missing the jewels where you are, always trying to get to somewhere else. I can speak to this out of my own experience, gentlemen. You know how many things I've missed because I never honored where I was. That's why some of us feel like failures no matter what we do, because we never look at what we've done and we've never congratulated ourselves for what we have accomplished, because we're always trying to look for something new. We're always trying to achieve something new. Sometimes you got to credit yourself for what you've done well. Credit yourself. You've hung in there. Credit yourself. Tell yourself, man, I've done a good job here. Listen, you have to celebrate small victories. It's the only way to get to bigger ones. You have to celebrate small victories or you'll feel worthless on your way to where you're going. Right? So learn to shift your focus from trying to figure it out to learning to be present in the moment you're in. All right, gentlemen, let me see who's in the chat before I go. All right, thank you, Sister Fee Felicia's in here tagging other brothers. That's amazing. And Fee, make sure, Jessica, make sure. Let me see who else is here. Keenan, make sure y'all know this is my last show streaming to Facebook. Okay, stay with us. Go on YouTube, and go on YouTube and subscribe to the Dear Brother Podcast on YouTube. Okay, go on there and subscribe there. All right, let me see. It's in. All right, good. Go subscribe on Dear Brother. Also, our table of 12. We had our first table of 12 on Saturday. We still have a few spaces at that table. If some of you guys want to get onto the table of 12, go to my website right now, christianwinners.com. You can sign up for the table of 12. The time was tremendous, man. We're digging deep into ourselves. We're learning how to forgive ourselves. We're learning how to find what happened to us from our families, okay? Go on my website, christianwinners.com. If you need one-on-one coaching, go on my website. Connect, man. It's donation-based. It's help there. I'm helping men, all right? Hey, man, I love y'all today. Understand. Know this, bro. You matter. You matter today. Remember, yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. All you have is right now. So how you live right now, you live with no fear, you live with no shame, and you live with no compromise. Go to my website, christianwinners.com. Set yourself up for your future. Hey, guys, I love you. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Again, no fear, no shame, no compromise. I'll see y'all.